Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into what it takes to start your own music production company. We've got this really awesome article from Let's Learn Law, and I'm really excited to pick it apart.
Yeah, it looks great.
So, a lot of people think about starting their own music company, and there are a lot of factors that go into it, obviously. But this article really zeroes in on the legal side of things, which, to be honest, when I think about starting a music company, that's not the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, the legal side's not the sexy part of music production, but it's super important for building a foundation that's sustainable for your business.
So true. So, where do we even begin with this? What are some of the first things that someone who is thinking about starting a music production company, what should they be thinking about?
Well, the article really lays out a roadmap, and the first steps are kind of this blend of honing your craft and
Hmm.
understanding the business landscape.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, professional training is essential, and that goes beyond just music production.
Right, so we're talking like business classes.
Exactly. Contracts, marketing, finance, all that fun stuff.
Right. Okay, so that makes sense. I think a lot of people, when they think about being a music producer, they think about you're a musician, right? But you're also an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Yes.
100%. And a key part of that entrepreneurial mindset is understanding the structure of your business. And the article talks about sole proprietorships, LLCs, corporations, and these are the legal frameworks that determine things like your liability and taxes.
So choosing like which one of those your business is like a really important first step.
Yeah, imagine you're building a house. You're not going to start with the roof, all right? You need a solid foundation.
Right.
And choosing the right business structure is like laying that foundation.
So what are some of the things people should be thinking about when they're choosing? Like what are the pitfalls of maybe choosing the wrong one?
Well, a sole proprietorship is super simple to set up, but you are personally liable for all the debts. An LLC offers more protection, and a corporation offers the most, but is more complex. It really depends on your risk tolerance and long-term goals.
Okay, so there are some serious implications if you pick the wrong one. It's like if your foundation's not strong, the whole thing can crumble. You got to get that right. Okay, so you figured out your business structure. What's next?
We've got this amazing production company, but nobody knows about it. That's where marketing comes in. And this article actually highlights a really cool approach, supporting other local businesses. It's about creating a community around your brand, building a network of support.
I love that because it's not just about putting your name out there. It's about actually connecting with people
Yeah.
in a real way, supporting your local scene. I love that. So we've got the foundation, we're getting the word out there, but there's another piece to this that feels really important, and that's contracts. This is where it gets a little tricky, right?
Contracts are like the backbone of any successful business,
Hmm.
especially in the music industry. It's all about protecting yourself as the producer as well as the artist, really setting clear expectations from the start so everyone's on the same page.
So, like, what are some of the things that should be in a contract?
This article highlights some really important ones: profit sharing, royalties, ownership rights, and promotional guarantees.
Okay, yeah, those are big ones. Because let's say you do produce a track and it's like a smash hit. If you don't have that stuff written down, how do you make sure everyone gets what they deserve?
That's right. You could end up in a situation where the artist claims they own all the rights to the song, or there's like a dispute about how the profit should be split. A well-drafted contract can really prevent those kinds of nightmares.
So it's almost like a roadmap for success, not just avoiding conflict.
Totally.
Okay, now this is where the legal side starts to feel a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Music licenses, distribution licenses, sample clearance certificates, it's a lot. Where do we even begin to unpack all of that?
I know. It can sound like you need a law degree just to get started, but these legal safeguards are actually in place to protect your work and ensure that you're operating legally and ethically.
Okay, let's do it. Let's unpack some of those. What are each of these and why are they important?
All right, well, let's start with the music license. This one's all about protecting your copyright, preventing others from copying and distributing your music without your permission.
So, like, without a music license, someone could just take your song and, like, profit off of it.
It's totally possible. It's kind of like leaving your front door unlocked. A music license is like that sturdy lock that protects your creative property.
Okay, that makes sense. What about a distribution license? What's that all about?
Think of it as your ticket to getting your music out into the world. A distribution license secures your right to sell the music through various channels, like online stores, streaming services, physical record shops.
So you're saying even if I own the copyright, I still need a separate license to actually sell it?
You got it.
Okay, wow. What about sample clearance certificates? A lot of music producers use samples. Is that something they have to worry about?
Absolutely. If you're incorporating someone else's music into your work, even if it's just a small snippet,
Yeah.
you need to get permission from the original copyright holder. That's where the sample clearance certificate comes in.
Okay, so it's not just about finding a cool sound online and dropping it in. You have to actually go through the proper legal channels, just like getting a music license for your own work.
Exactly. Sampling without clearance can lead to some serious legal trouble.
Okay, so we've covered those three. Are there any other types of agreements we should be aware of?
There are a couple more that are important to consider. First, there's the producer agreement. This is really essential if you're working with an outside producer, and it outlines the terms of your collaboration. Things like costs, royalties, and credits all need to be clearly spelled out.
So it's like a contract specifically for producers.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you've got permission forms, which are needed if you're using any images, logos, or other copyrighted material in your album art or marketing materials.
So it's not just the music itself that needs legal protection, it's the whole package.
The whole thing.
What about copyright and trademark certificates?
Those are all about officially registering your creative work and your brand identity. So that gives you legal recourse if someone infringes on your rights.
Okay, it's like building a legal fortress around your creative empire.
Exactly.
I'm starting to really see how this all fits together. It's not just about making awesome music. It's about really understanding the framework that protects your work and lets your business thrive.
Yeah. And it's all about combining that creative passion with those smart business practices. And that definitely includes navigating the legal stuff.
This has been so informative. We've covered choosing a business structure, the power of community-based marketing, the importance of contracts, and then all of these different licenses and certificates. But wait, there's one more piece we need to talk about, and that is insurance.
Yeah, that's right. We'll cover that in the next part of this deep dive. Stay tuned.
So insurance. I have to admit, that's not the first thing I think about when it comes to music production.
Yeah, it's not exactly the most glamorous part of the business, but it's incredibly important. Think of it like this. You wouldn't play a show without, sound checking your equipment first, right?
Sure.
Insurance is like sound checking your business. It's making sure you're prepared for anything that might come your way.
So when we talk about insurance for music production, what exactly are we talking about? Like, what could go wrong that you'd need to be insured for?
Well, the article mentions general liability insurance.
Mm.
That's crucial for all those like hoops moments. Someone trips over a cable in your studio or a piece of equipment malfunctions and damages a client's instrument. Things happen.
Yeah.
And general liability insurance covers those kinds of accidents, which could potentially lead to lawsuits or financial strain.
So accidents happen. But don't the contracts that we talked about, like earlier, don't those offer some kind of protection as well?
Contracts are great for outlining responsibilities, but insurance provides like an additional layer of protection. It's a safety net, especially for situations that might fall outside the scope of a contract.
So it's like your backup plan
Yeah.
for those worst case scenarios. Are there any other types of insurance that are like specific to the music industry?
There are definitely unique considerations. For instance, if you have employees, providing health insurance is a huge plus. Shows that you care about their well-being and helps attract and retain talent.
So there are all kinds of different ones.
Yeah, there's liability insurance that protects you from creditors. And then there's what they call a business owner's policy, which is basically a bundle of different coverages, kind of like a comprehensive safety net.
I never thought about it being so complex.
It can be.
But I guess it makes sense. So, I mean, insurance is about what? Mitigating risk and protecting yourself from the unexpected.
That's the gist of it. You're putting so much heart and soul into building this company, so insurance is there to make sure that, one little mishap doesn't derail everything. It's about peace of mind.
So it's not just about protecting yourself financially. It's about protecting your vision.
Exactly. And ensuring that your company can stay afloat. It's like investing in a really good road case
Right.
for, your most prized instrument. You wouldn't want it to get damaged in transit.
But that's such a good analogy.
Right.
It's that protective shell that keeps your business safe and sound so you can focus on making music.
And let's face it, a lot of people in the music industry are, they're creatives. They're not necessarily business-minded. So insurance can kind of bridge that gap.
Right. They can focus on their art.
Hmm.
Know that they're protected on the business side.
Exactly. Like having a good advisor looking out for your best interests. Are you ready to tackle the last piece of the legal puzzle?
Yeah, bring it on. Hit me with it. So this ever-changing landscape, what exactly do you mean?
Well, the music industry is always evolving, right?
Right.
New technologies and platforms are constantly emerging. Like, remember a few years ago, streaming services were barely a thing.
Yeah,
Now it's how most people listen to music.
it's true.
And with every shift, the legal side of things has to catch up.
So what are some of the biggest legal challenges facing someone starting a music production company today?
I think one of the most significant is the rise of independent artists. They don't need those traditional record labels anymore.
Right.
They can connect directly with fans online through Spotify or Bandcamp, social media, all that.
So it's a lot more DIY.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while it's great for creative freedom, it also presents new legal hurdles. There are all these new agreements and distribution models to navigate.
So as a producer, you're not just working with the artist in the studio. You're kind of like their guide in this digital world too.
100%. Producers today need to understand digital distribution, licensing for online platforms, even the nuances of copyright law in the digital age.
So it's not enough to just be good at making music.
Nope.
You really got to have a grasp of this business and legal side too.
Knowledge is power, especially in an industry that's constantly changing, like music.
So how can someone stay ahead of the curve?
Stay informed. Go to conferences, read those industry magazines, follow legal experts online.
So it's really about being a lifelong learner.
Absolutely. The music industry is all about evolution, blending art and business.
Yeah.
Those who adapt and stay curious, they're the ones who will shape the future of music.
Well, I think we've given everyone a lot to consider today.
For sure.
We talked about starting a music production business, choosing the right structure, contracts, licenses, and even insurance, plus navigating this ever-changing digital landscape.
I hope everyone feels empowered to chase their music dreams, knowing that they have the knowledge and the resources to make it happen.
It's all about passion, creativity, and a solid understanding of the business and legal side. Keep learning, keep creating, and don't be afraid to ask for help along the way. That's it for our deep dive into the world of music production. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.